Uncovering the Lost Masterpieces, a hunt for missing paintings since World War II. The Portrait of a Young Man by Raphael is one of the most sought-after paintings that went missing during World War II. The artwork, created in 1513 and 1540, measures 29.53 by 23.23 inches and is an oil-on-panel masterpiece. The painting belonged to the Prince's Czartoryski Museum in Krakow, Poland, before it was taken away by Hans Frank, the Governor-General of Nazi-occupied Poland, in late January 1945. Despite ongoing efforts to recover the painting, it remains missing to this day. Its whereabouts are unknown, and its value is estimated to be in the tens of millions of dollars. Many art enthusiasts and historians consider the painting to be an important part of European cultural heritage. Jan van Huysum's painting Vase of Flowers and a Bird's Nest was painted on an oak panel and measures 15.35 by 12.60 inches. The painting was part of the old master's picture gallery of the Dresden State Art Collections in Germany, but was moved to Wiesenstein Castle for safekeeping during World War II. The castle was selected as an art repository due to its secluded position and ideal climate. However, the painting disappeared sometime after July 16, 1942, and the exact circumstances of its loss are unknown. It is likely that it was removed by either local citizens, displaced persons, or the Soviet trophy brigades. The painting Maria with Child was created by Paolo Veronese in approximately 1560 and owned by Friedrich Fritz Bernhard Eugen Gutmann. Gutmann was a German-Dutch banker and art collector who acquired an impressive art collection in the early 1900s. In 1940, the painting was confiscated by the Nazi looting organization Einsatzstab Reichsleiter Rosenberg from a warehouse in Paris. Gutmann and his wife Louise were effectively placed under house arrest in the early 1940s, unable to stop Nazi agents from invading their home and stripping their collection one work at a time. Gutmann perished in the Theresienstadt ghetto and concentration camp in 1944. The fate of their collection remains largely unknown. Dosso Dossi's Christ the Redeemer is an oil-on-panel painting measuring 27.95 by 15.75 inches, owned by Prince Felix of Bourbon-Parma. During World War II, the painting was taken by soldiers of the German 16th the SS Panzergrenadier Division from the Villa delle Pianore in Lucca, Italy, where it was housed. The villa was occupied by various German troops and was completely stripped of its possessions, including fine furniture, paintings, books, and other small objects. The stolen art was initially intended to be moved to Berlin, but was stopped at the Dornsberg Castle in the Tyrol Mountains, where the U.S. Fifth Army later found it. After the war, Prince Felix filed a damages claim for the missing paintings and was reimbursed by the Italian government. Emanuel de Witt's painting Interior of a Gothic Church was stored in the Berlin Friedrichshain Flak Tower for safekeeping during World War II and has been missing since early May 1945. The tower was a storehouse for some of the most important works from Berlin collections, including the picture gallery of the National Museums in Berlin. Larger paintings that were unable to be transported distances outside of the capital city were stored locally. While some of the collections were evacuated, others remained trapped in the Flak Tower when the Battle of Berlin began on April 1945. After the war, the painting was not found, and it is unknown whether it was destroyed in the fires or looted by someone. Ladislaw Zakorski painted Cleopatra, an oil-on-canvas piece measuring 9.45 by 14.17 inches. It was owned by the National Museum in Poznan, Poland, which was previously the Greater Poland Museum in Poznan. During World War II, the museum fell under German administration, and many collections were confiscated, including Zakorski's painting. The Greater Poland Museum was renamed the Kaiser Friedrich Museum in 1902, and later the Greater Poland Museum in 1918. Dr. Siegfried Ruhl, an art historian, was appointed as the new director during the German occupation, and the museum was requisitioned by Nazi officials. The painting's current whereabouts are unknown since relevant documentation has been lost. Boats Mirrored in the Water is a painting by Austrian expressionist Egon Schiele, owned by Jewish cabaret star Franz Friedrich Fritz Grunbaum. The Nazis confiscated the artwork while Fritz was imprisoned in a concentration camp. The painting resurfaced with a Swiss auctioneer in 1955 and then in a gallery in Los Angeles. Fritz had amassed an impressive collection of over 400 works of art, but he and his wife were apprehended and ultimately perished in Nazi custody. The fate of the Grunbaum collection is unknown, but controversy and mystery surround its sale and acquisition by dealers. The painting Landscape with Blue and Red Trees by Paul Klee was in the collection of Jewish Dresden lawyer Dr. Fritz Salo Glaser before being sold under duress due to Nazi persecution. Glaser was born in Zittau, Germany in 1876 and had a collection of contemporary artists, including Emil Nolde, Paul Klee, Oskar Kokoschka, Otto Dix, and Wassily Kandinsky. The National Socialists came to power in 1933, and Glaser was persecuted due to his Jewish heritage and communist sympathies. He was forced to sell his art collection piecemeal to support his livelihood and family. The Landscape with Blue and Red Trees was sold to pay an atonement tax of Rm 23,250. It is currently believed to be in a private collection in Switzerland. Lucas Cranach the Elder's painting St. George was created around 1525 and was housed in the Anhalt Picture Gallery de Sceaux before it was moved for safekeeping during World War II. In mid-1942 to early 1943, it was relocated to a remote forester's lodge called Uchenstein in Germany's Uhlenbachtal Valley. Unfortunately, the lodge was left unattended during the war's final days, and the painting disappeared, most likely due to looting by locals, displaced persons, or soldiers. Albrecht Dürer's A Lying Lioness drawing, measuring 6.38 by 10.63 inches, was owned by the University of Warsaw Library Print Room in Poland. It is believed that the drawing was stolen during World War II by Kajetan Muchelman, an Austrian art historian involved in the theft of artworks from Poland. The University of Warsaw Library Print Room is the oldest public collection of prints in Poland, and until 1939, it was the largest. During the November Uprising in 1831, the collection was transferred to the Academy of Fine Arts in St. Petersburg. In 1923, the collection was returned to the university's library. During the September campaign in 1939, forces invaded Poland and began looting its cultural heritage. The print room lost 60% of its holdings, including Dürer's A Lying Lioness,